Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stripology podcast. I'm Wendy, your host, and as always, thank you so much for being here. I love receiving little messages, letting me know that you know what you like about the podcast, how it's helping, and so yeah, thank you so much for all the feedback and getting to connect with you guys out there. Um, because a lot of the time it's just me speaking to a screen with the podcast episode. And with my coaching, I love working with people because I get to see insights, around what they're experiencing, what their challenges are, all of that. And I've just gotten back from Adelaide. I went and I was a guest judge at Miss Femme Australia. It was absolutely amazing. Honestly, like if you're listening to this and you don't usually go to, the comp nights, I encourage to just give it a go because it is so fun and so like awe-inspiring with all the talent and the creativity. Oh my gosh, and just the passion. It's so good. It's so fun. And also it's a great opportunity to bring people along that aren't actually from our industry, so they can really get a sense of like just the heart and the soul that goes into the craft. So amazing. All little things like that really help our industry just to get sort of, more normalized and like just, more sort of in with the general public. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And the final is on Wednesday coming up. So can't wait to see how that goes. I'm back in Perth now though, so I'll have to see from afar. And also, yeah, this Wednesday coming up is the first day, our welcome call for the Industry Academy. So I'll be sending out all the links to everybody who's joined. And what is it now? Saturday. So anyway, by the time this comes out, I'm not exactly sure, but my VA will be putting this together. So in the next couple of days, I think. So yeah, if it's something that you're curious about, make sure to have a little read about it and jump in because there's going to be so much magic. And I want to talk about something that happened on the trip. So to Adelaide, which was so amazing. I feel like it is such a good step in the right direction. I'm super grateful to the club that allowed me to host my workshop for their dancers. So at the Crazy Horse, I did a in-person workshop. I haven't done an in-person workshop since before COVID, but before COVID, that's sort of how everything started. I was doing in-person workshops around Australia and sort of just, hiring like a space that was suitable and bringing all my bits and pieces, all my workbooks and hosting workshops. And I absolutely love the in-person experience, but I think this is such a good step in a good direction because this was arranged via the club and there was a really good turnout. And it was just such an amazing space because, we all get to connect. We all get to see each other outside of those work hours, normally because we're all self-employed, if you see people struggling or, having a difficult time, or sometimes like we're working too, we're trying to maintain our own self and our own energy and our own, everything. And so we don't always have the capacity to like support each other when we're on the floor. Like we can do bits and pieces, but this is something different. This is like such a nice space. Same with the Industry Academy, like where we get to meet outside of work hours and really discuss what's going on for us and really look at like troubleshooting and the challenges. And it really inspires me. Like it really inspires me with things like putting content out with the podcast because I can see in real time, when I work with all different people and all from around the world as well, there's always universal challenges and things that we go through in this industry. It's not just kind of like, some areas have different rules and things like that that can influence our experience, but generally, there's certain themes that kind of can feel really challenging for us as dancers. And I found it so interesting in this workshop. It was such a good reminder that the fundamentals are so important. We're working in an industry where the clubs don't provide training, and that's why I'm so passionate about doing whatever I can to provide training for dancers, because in my own experience, I know how much, going down the whole rabbit hole of learning about sales and confidence and all the things that I always talk about and teach on, just how much they changed my experience and my reality and my income. And, just the way that I felt going into work and the way that I felt about myself and about the customers, like there's so many ripples that affect us and the people around us. And so when we feel empowered, when we feel like, we have the knowledge, we have the skill set, the strategy, like things can just be so much easier. So again, I am so grateful and just so pleased, I guess you could say, with the clubs in Adelaide for taking that step and being the first club that, has been like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Let's provide this for our dancers. And it was just so much fun. I did a 3-hour interactive workshop, and I feel like I only just hit the top of the iceberg, because obviously the Industry Academy has 20 plus hours of content plus the workbook. But I really wanted to, at the start of the workshop, find out, with each person individually, what their specific challenges were and what prompted them to want to come to the workshop and what they're curious about, and there was such a clear theme. Almost everybody actually had this really clear theme. So I'm going to just read out a few of the topics condensed that came up. But there was such a clear theme around literally how to actually sell. We can get in these conversations with people and in the back of our mind be like, cool, I'm chatting to this person, but how do I leap from chatting to being paid in a lap dance? And there's so many ways we can do it smoothly. That's something that obviously I'm so obsessed about, is that smooth and quite fast hustle where we can actually find out so much about our customers when we have certain intentions in place and when we ask specific questions, with the idea that we want to find out more about them, we want to connect with them, we want to basically tailor an experience for them. And when we have a bit of a strategy and a bit of an outline of what that looks like and things to look out for and how to pivot and what to do in certain situations, we don't have to kind of feel the rug being pulled out from under us in situations where we might hear a no or an excuse and then wonder, oh shit, what do I do from here? I'm really about having, clear structure that obviously you can make your own, but just knowing different ways to pivot and keep going towards the sale, because one of the main things that results in more sales is persistence. But we don't want to do it in a way that breaks rapport. We want to persist in a way that's encouraging, that's fun, that's tailored to the person. So it really is clear to them that it's a really good idea to have a dance and have a fun experience. Why go all the way out? Why get dressed up? Why enter into a strip club, be in the zone and then not go for the full experience? A lot of people want to, but they just might not get that little nudge that puts them over the fence. So there's so many things that we can do that are so subtle, with our body language, with our positioning, with the words that we choose, all of these things. And this is really, in my eyes, going back to basics, really refining the fundamentals of the hustle and, really mastering that. And then from there, we can build so many things the experience that we provide, and then extensions and upgrades and, all of the things, creating regulars. But this workshop really opened my eyes, because obviously I love going down all different rabbit holes and different tangents of things that do affect us at work and that relate to us at work and like the mindset side of things and everything like that. But then it's like the fundamentals, that's our basis, that's our foundation to build on. And so, yeah, like sales skills are so powerful in life. Like we learn them as kids, but we get to refine them as adults. And sometimes we don't, and it's just such a fascinating topic. And it can really help us in work. So yeah, I'm just going to read out a few topics that came up. They are all related and they're all going back to the fundamentals. It's like dotting the I's and crossing the T's. There is so much to be said about that, because in those details, that's where we speed up our selling cycle so much, Okay, so I've got how to actually sell, what to talk about without feeling awkward, getting stuck talking to people, confidence in persisting, learning to get to the point faster. So there's definitely a theme here, if you can hear that, of like around how to actually sell, how to actually structure our conversations with the customers so we can do a smooth transition from introduction, building rapport, closing our dance if it doesn't go through, dropping back to building rapport, refining a bit more, finding out more information. And there's certain ways that we can do this without it being obvious, and with getting to the point faster and closing our sales more often. So a couple of little things I just want to talk about. I want to get practical with you. Obviously, the Industry Academy has got a wealth of information on this. And if you're someone that's interested in the sales side of things, also the mindset side of things, but you're at a point where you're really wanting to take your hustle to the next level and you're curious about what it is that you can do to do that, because there's so many things that we can all do to take our hustle to the next level and therefore earn more money and make the job easier for ourselves and also, benefit the customers. Yeah, so, the Industry Academy is a 3-month immersion experience, basically, with support the whole way through on these topics. But something practically for those of you just listening to this podcast right now, this is just a couple of tiny little things that we can look at. So obviously I've mentioned like the introduction, building rapport, the questions that we ask. It's always so fun to brainstorm together on those. But as like just a tiny little background thing to look out for, say we go to the point, getting stuck talking to people or learning to get to the point faster, feeling awkward about what to talk about. We want to talk about things that are sort of on track to finding out information about our customers and how we can best serve them and what they might be looking for that night and things like that. So if we're, feeling awkward about what we're talking about, if we're feeling like we're getting stuck with the people we're talking to, one small thing that you can look out for is who's asking the questions. The person who's asking the questions is the person that's in control of the conversation. Now, obviously, we don't want to be too rigid on any of the things that I talk about, but just an awareness of like, oh gosh, this person's asking me all the questions. They're finding out about me. That's not really getting you any closer to your sale. It might be in a sense that they're feeling more connected to you, but just that awareness in itself of like, okay, they've got the limelight here. They're the ones that are in control of the conversation. They're the ones that are asking questions. And to know that, okay, if we do want to speed things up, we need to get the ball back in our own court. And we need to find out more information about them and ask questions about them that helps you connect with them in return, but also finding a way that you can tailor your entertainment for their experience. And Another thing, so these are just two simple little things. So just observing who's asking the questions and noticing, are you in control of the conversation? Are you getting any closer to the sale, or are you sitting there wondering, how do I stop talking to this person? I feel stuck right now. And the other thing is, just, I've said this a million times before in the podcast and just in my coaching and all the time, but learn to love the no's. I always talk about it being like reps at the gym. Love that burn. That burn not means that you're getting closer to the result that you want. A no equals, okay, so go in for the close, and even if you get a no or an excuse or an objection, whatever, cool, amazing. Not everyone has to agree with us all the time. Check the certainty in their answer. Were they like really certain, or are they a bit wishy-washy, unsure? There's a lot to be said in checking their certainty. A no is an invitation to build more rapport and troubleshoot. Well, what is the objection here, and how can I help solve that? If you go back, I have an entire episode on this topic, but I just really wanted to bring it up because it's, just something to always have in the back of your mind, to be aware of. Like, I get a no, right? Like, amazing. Like, that's a good thing, love them, not just tolerate them or bear with them. Anyway, there's so many different areas that I could go on through from here. Remembering our customers are always looking through the lens of what's in it for me. Whether they're aware of it or not, we all have our own buying strategy. We all have a different strategy of what is it going to take for me to part with my money. Certain boxes they want ticked, that's our role to find out what that is. Let's get troubleshooting. Let's get curious. Let's get inquisitive. They're the things that are going to help you connect faster and close your sale faster as well. And then I just want to leave you with 3 words that I think are so important in the hustle always. Connection, like I keep saying, persistence, and versatility. So have a ponder on those. I've got loads of content out there about the power of persistence. Persistence pays, and of course, versatility. We don't want to be too rigid in anything. So keeping that open mind, allowing our customers to also feel that we're versatile and that we're willing to, be the right entertainer for them. And when I say them, for everybody. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, so the Industry Academy starts Wednesday coming up, 29th of May. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. We already have people from different countries joining, doing the onboarding at the moment. So everyone that's already joined, you'll get all of the links that you need at the start of next week, ready for Wednesday when we kick off. And it's just such an incredible space. If you are curious and you haven't quite decided, or you want to find out more information, head to the link in my link tree. In fact, I'll have a link in the notes here so you can read about it. And there's so many testimonials. There's been maybe around 100 people now through the Industry Academy, which I am just so grateful for and pleased about. And I know that the ripples are taking effect, because I love hearing about how it has changed people's lives all of the time. And yeah, that's what it's all about. So anyway, I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week. All right, bye.